You are watching Wired Up Retro, and this is episode 50. And today we have a special product called the Atari 5200 ProPaddle 2. And this is a product that is basically for games like Kaboom, which have left and right either analog movement, or you can play it on digital games like, let's say, River Raid, where you want to go left and right. So it's a 2-button controller, which is very nice for those 2-button games that you'll want to use it with. I'm thinking maybe a game like Dreadnaught Factor might even work with this. There's a few others as well. Moon Patrol, that's a 2-button game. This might do very well since that's more of a left and right kind of game. This is a product that's put out by a company out in Germany, and it's run by Ralf Puchner. And he actually started making paddles for Atari 2600 way back in 2016, like 4 years ago. And he didn't sell them individually. He was actually pairing them with consoles, Atari 2600 consoles that he was selling. And then he came out with the ProPaddle 2 design, which was then sold individually. And those were made specifically for the Atari 2600 starting in the middle of 2018. And then he made a special Commodore 64 version of it in 2019. And then just last month in February, Ralf decided to go ahead and make the ProPaddle 2 available for the 5200. So anyways, it's really a nice product. And I do want to mention to you that it is a little different from the earlier iterations in that it has at the end of its cord a special little plug. You could say that this plug is designed to accommodate an Atari 5200 controller so that you can have access to the start button, pause, and the reset button, as well as the keypad. As you know, on some games you're going to want to have that for the keypad as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this plugged in together, and maybe we'll show you a little bit of footage of Kaboom in action. Press the start button. Here we go. Seems to be working very nicely. Let's go. Ah. I am usually not that good at this game, as you can see. Last. All right, I'm going to show you a couple other games and we'll take it from there. All right, I've got a digital game. This is Mario Brothers for the Atari 5200. We'll give it a shot, take a look and see how easy this is to play. Seems to be working very well. I will say that I'm detecting a little bit of a dead zone in the center, so I can turn it a little bit and he won't move, but then turn it this way. There is a little bit of a dead zone. Not necessarily a major problem, but I didn't notice the dead zone in Kaboom. In fact, in Kaboom, which is completely analog-only game, this digital game is the one that I'm detecting that on. So let's try a different game. Okay, so I got River Raid up on the screen here. This is a game that's basically a digital game. It's not really specifically analog. And I am noticing, I played this a little bit before, I'm noticing that dead zone again. You can kind of swing it a little to the right And then when you go left, you're turning, but it's not moving. So there's that dead zone. Is it a big deal? Probably not a big deal, but in digital games, I notice it. Didn't notice it, though, in the analog game, Kaboom. And you won't notice it in the other analog games that you play, like possibly Super Breakout or Gorf. If you decide to play Gorf with it, that's kind of an interesting option to try. All right. But yeah, it's accurate. It's definitely giving me good control. And I would say it'd be nice if that dead zone wasn't there, but it's just a small dead zone. It's not a huge dead zone. Some will notice it though. There we go. Okay. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the product, so let's go ahead and pause the game. So what I have here is the prototype of this 5200 ProPaddle 2. This is actually now being manufactured in a new version, or a revised version, where they made the switches a little bit more compact. So it's actually a superior design in the plug-in. Now, to obtain it, you're going to want to contact Ralf Puchner out there in Germany. He has an email address of 0711spiel@gmx.de. So by all means, reach out to him at that email address and you'll be able to obtain one of these. If you're ordering just one, it does come with the box. If you're choosing to do a bulk order, from what I understand, that is 2 or more, then you're not going to get the box, but you get some savings when you do order in bulk. Now, if you're worried about the quality, never fear. I did talk to Ralf about that, and he has a 1-year warranty, and he said there's no extra costs involved. If you're having a problem, reach out to him. So it sounds like you're going to be in good hands if you do buy his product. And I know that he's been making paddles since 2016, so he's got a 4-year track record of making them, producing them. He knows what he's doing, so I think you'd be very pleased with the quality of the product that you're going to get. And by all means, if you're having any issues, then reach out to him. Now, the original Atari paddles had a potentiometer value of 640K. And right now, in this current day and age, you can't get 640K potentiometers. So he used a 500K potentiometer, or kiloohms. The other option was to use a 1 megohm potentiometer, but he tried that and the movement was extremely slow. So the 500 is the one that we're ending up having to use. And I believe that possibly this dead zone issue that I've noticed has to do with it not being a 640 like the Atari paddles had. Now, way back in Wired Up Retro episode number 20, I did show you how to make your own Atari 2600 paddles work on the Atari 5200. Now, this is a Wiko command control, and this joystick came packaged with basically a splitter cable back in the 80s. So if you take that splitter cable and you create with it a little 9-pin to 9-pin adapter, which I showed you how to make it in Wired Up Retro number 20, and then connect these all together with the paddles, plug it into your 5200, and you've got yourself one of the paddles doing left and right. And if you wire it up the proper way, you can get the other paddle going up and down. So basically, it's a 2-axis potentiometer situation. The nice thing about this setup was that there is very little, if any, dead zone. And that's because these paddles have the 640K potentiometer on board, which is the ideal. Now, you do have to get inside the paddle that you want to have going left and right and switch 2 wires. So just letting you know, if you watch that episode, don't forget to do that. Otherwise, you're going to have this going the opposite direction you want it to go. Is this superior? Well, one nice thing about this, it being 2 buttons, okay, you can connect them together with, I have Velcro on it, and you can use this one for the horizontal, and then this one can dial in your vertical control. And that might be an extra perk about this, but it looks kind of ridiculous. And I don't know if you want to have something that looks ridiculous with an adapter that you made out of solderless connectors, but it's an option. Another option that you could get it would be involving this adapter I got made. I commissioned a Atari Age member who goes by Bohoki to make me one of these PC 15-pin to Atari 15-pin 5200 controller adapters. And you can buy a PC 15-pin controller called the Ultra Racer, which basically is a paddle controller. And the nice thing about this is that when it's all hooked up, this paddle will work on games like this as well as the Super Breakout and other games. The downside here is that right now no one is actively making these PC 15-pin to 5200 adapters. Although in the near future, from what I understand, there is someone who's going to be starting to make one, but that hasn't happened as of yet. So anyway, there's another downside here. The Ultra Racer PC has self-centering, okay? Is it a big deal? Well, it's not a really heavy self-centering, so it's not really that big of a deal on most games. In fact, on a game like this, you kind of like the idea of self-centering, actually. So be aware, this could be another option for you if you happen to have one of these. These are hard to come by these days. I have one other option I want to show you here when it comes to paddle games for the 5200, and that would be to use that very same adapter that I just showed you, the PC 15-pin to 5200 adapter, and plug this into it. This is called the Emulator Smart Joy adapter, and then plug into that a PlayStation controller called the Joy-Con. Now, it's interesting. I just learned recently, in the past, 8 months or so, that the Joy-Con has 2 modes, and if you press this button when you're firing up your console and hold it until the game is fully ready to start, then press your start button, then let go of that button. It blinks with a red light, and this is now completely a nice paddle for your Atari 5200. The downside here is you're using 2 adapters, and unfortunately, just like the other one, it's not currently being put into manufacturing, so you're not going to be able to find it very easily. This is quite rare, actually. The Emulator Smart Joy adapter could set you back quite a few bucks if you're looking for it on eBay. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention this. This is another option you could consider if you're interested in spending a ton of money. But you won't have to spend as much if you're going to get this. And it's easier to come by because it's currently in manufacturing. How long is it going to stay in manufacturing? I guess I don't know. I mean, it could go out to 2022 or 2023. For all we know, it might go on for 5 years. But then again, it could be less. So I guess just go ahead and get it now so you don't have to worry about it. Definitely a nice product, and it's actually more comfortable to hold than that Ultra Racer PC, in my opinion. And the way it feels, it's just less bulky feeling. I kind of like the way it feels in the hand better. All right, let's try some other games. Moon Patrol, for instance. Wow. All right. Let's try one more game. Now in this game, you're going to want to use a very light touch. This almost kind of cries for a self-centering paddle because you're not sure where that center point is. Well, you can be sure if you get used to it, I guess. This is going to take some time to get used to, that's for sure. I'm not used to it. Here we go, here we go. Go slow, go fast. It's definitely analog. It's coming in pretty good. And it's got that second button function, which this game really needs. That super zapper is necessary to win the game. There we go. Oh, they shot me. All right, so that is our episode for today. I definitely wanted to show you a number of games. There are plenty more that could be played with this. Let me just go through the list real quick. Besides the ones I've shown, you can try Beam Rider and Galaxian, Buck Rogers, Gorf, Megamania, Space Invaders. I did mention Dreadnaught Factor already. There's also, well, I tried Pole Position. Unfortunately, that wasn't compatible because you have to press up on the joystick in order to change in from low gear to high. So that wasn't compatible. And then there's also another game that's available called Meteorites. And again, you got to press up in order to press your thruster. So that's not going to work either, although left and right and firing and hyperspace will work. You need to thrust to go forward. So anyway, probably not ideal for that game. So anyways, I would definitely say that the product is very nice, and if you're interested in adding to your control options for this wonderful super system of a console, I would definitely recommend Ralf Puchner's product. He's definitely done a great job with it, and it's definitely of quality workmanship, so check it out. On our future episodes, I do have one coming up where I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Atari 7800 and using some controls that, well, it's a new discovery. That's all I'm going to say for right now. I also have an episode coming up with the Tron joystick. You know, the one I made a few episodes back is going to be put through its paces on a certain console that I really, really like. And I haven't tried that on any of our other episodes that I've shown. So I'll leave it to your imagination. It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. All right, so have fun gaming out there. It's good talking with you guys. We'll look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Also, definitely give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do click that bell, and let's get you subscribed so you can hear a little bit more about classic gaming controls. All right, well, take care. Bye-bye.